Opinion, Watercon. I don't want to appear to be a bit of a wet fortnight, but don't you just hate the privatisation of essential services, such as power, gas, telecommunications, water and hamburger joints? Well, perhaps the last one will be a good idea, but that is an entirely new subject for a rant. Here I want to bemoan the hypocrisy of privatised water companies. Since privatisation, the water companies have been taking the fluid in more ways than they're obliged to do. Why have they been subject to increasing restrictions, poorer supply and inflated bills? Why, for instance, in our green and pleasant land, read generally wet, do we suffer from hose pipe bans as soon as there are 3 sunny days in a row? And why is the water mains pressure so weak you can no longer take a shower standing up? The answer is fat cat profits. Consider for a moment that you are that fat cat executive on the board of one of the water companies. What do you think your biggest priority is? Fueling your customers? Nah, bleeding them dry is a much better business proposition, and doing it is easy. Firstly, you created an image that water is more precious than gold. Just wash over the fact that the product you sell for profit actually falls free from the sky. Feed stories about drought and waste, and then trying to add a bit of guilt about the environment for good measure. And soon everyone will start to use less. It'd also be wise to shift the blame firmly onto your customers, claim that their desire to live in cities makes it difficult to serve them. Gloss over the fact that when packed together it's actually cheaper to serve their collective needs, or the fact that most cities are built on rivers. This all saves the cost of new reservoirs, you see. In fact, you may be able to sell off some existing ones for prime building plot charges. And whatever you do, don't invest too much in desalination plant technology. That would just remind your customers that the damn stuff floats all around their country in huge quantities. Of course, a few would try to persuade you that your leaky old network that wastes the most, and you may consider doing something about that. Or, alternatively, you could reduce pressure to the absolute minimum as set by your own colleagues in the watchdog that your own industry set up. That should delay overdue expenditure for a few more years whilst your valuable stocks and shares mature. You might even suggest fun items like sharing a bath. Or perhaps play on your customers' basic laziness by suggesting it's good practice not washing their filthy car. Or attending to the £500 worth of slowly perishing shrubs in their garden. You could even encourage the industry that manufacturers lose that only partly flushing is a good idea, and that to add a brick in the already carefully engineered cistern is a sensible measure. That should make your customers use less of your liquid gold. Finally, up the ante so much the government, that's your old mates who got you the job in the first place, raised legislation to put a water meter in every property. Obviously the metered supply will have to reflect, on average, the non-metered rates. But as nobody but you know how much the average is, you can easily charge more than the average for everyone, no matter how frugal they are. The downsides may be disease and pestilence, but it won't affect you unless the grubby vermin happen to brush up against you in Harrods. Another small problem will be that occasionally you'll have to flush some water down the drains, just to free them up, as the network was actually designed with use in mind. Then, as a pièce de résistance, you could drop the quality of processing. Just enough to persuade the many to buy bottled water instead of the free stuff they used to drink straight from the tap. If you're really good, you could even bottle the stuff yourself and make even more cash. After all, the idiot in the street is happy to pay more for a litre of water than petrol. Water doesn't even have the excuse of an 85% tax. Mind you, the most surprising thing about all this is why you fat cats are involved at all. I always thought cats hated water. Thanks for listening. I hope my little rant made you think. If it makes you want to comment, feel free to put that in the appropriate box below. And why not add a like while you're down there? You know where. Just next to the subscribe button. They're just about to click. This tongue-in-cheek opinion was written by me and first published on my website in May 2005, then in a Vinceunlimited WordPress article in March 2018. See you in my next video. Cheers for now.